Tana's the most insane note-taking tool that I have ever experienced. And the crazy thing is that there's no single totally comprehensive free YouTube guide to get you from beginner to intermediate if you're just starting out. Until now, this is 100 Tana Tips, a step-by-step guide to start using Tana to its utmost limits. Tip 1. So once you've downloaded Tana, you can set up the desktop app. It's a bit faster, it works a little bit better than the browser version. Not that there's anything wrong with the browser. Once you're in, you'll see all kinds of stuff. Ignore, delete it, click through, and then just find an empty spot to click with your mouse and start typing. This is your first note. So Tana calls notes nodes, and they look just like bullet points. So in Tana, everything is a node, which is basically just like a note or a page in a different kind of app. To make more nodes, hit the Enter key. If you're at the end of the line when you hit Enter, the new node will appear below. If you're at the beginning of the line, the new node will appear above. And if you're in the middle, it'll just split your node right in half. To add more details to an existing node, left-click to get into it, or use the keyboard to move up and down through your existing nodes. Hit the Tab key to indent a node. You can indent multiple layers deep. Hold Shift and hit Tab to do the opposite, to outdent it and to send it back a layer. You can also right-click a node with your mouse, then hit this button to indent and this button to outdent. You can indent or outdent multiple lines at once. If you highlight any text inside the node, you get this formatting toolbar, which lets you bold, italicize, underline, strike through, format as a code snippet, or even just remove all that fancy formatting. So there's hotkeys for each of these actions too. And you can add emojis with the colon key. To make a node into a quick to-do item, right-click on the node's bullet and click Add Checkbox. Now you can check and uncheck that node easily, or use Command-Enter on your keyboard to cycle a node as open or as completed. You can even do this for multiple nodes that you've selected at once. To create a link in Tana, just copy the link from anywhere else, highlight some text, and then paste onto that text. Command-V. Or you can just paste the full URL inline. You can paste or drag images into Tana, video links, audio files, PDFs, and even more. If you want to get rid of a node, right-click to select the node, or hit the Escape key on a node that you're already working in, and then just hit the Backspace key. Alternatively, drag left-click to select one or more nodes, and then hit Backspace. Or if you want to do this very fast, just use the hotkeys Command-Shift-Delete to instantly delete a node that you're already working in. If you accidentally delete a node, just hit Command-Z as many times as you need until things are back to the way that you wanted them. If you've indented nodes, you can actually click on this little caret to collapse the node and hide everything but the top node. Click it again to reveal the hidden nodes below. This is a great way to look only at what matters or see kind of a high-level summary of the sections that you have on your page. If you've hidden a node's subnodes, you'll see the node icon change to this one to indicate that you can expand it. If there aren't any child nodes yet, you can still hit this caret, and that will just allow you to quickly add a new empty node below. Try moving nodes by left-clicking the node and then dragging it to a new spot and letting it go. Before you let go of the click, you'll see a line on the screen helping guide where the node is going to end up being placed. To move multiple nodes, drag the mouse across several nodes at once, click the top node bullet, and do the same thing. Tana will actually even tell you how many nodes that you're moving as you drag it. You can quickly expand or collapse nodes with child content using your keyboard by combining the Command and up and down keys to either expand or collapse the node. You can do this with multiple lines at once, or you could do it repeatedly to the top line to expand multiple lines one at a time. To hide or show every node within your current selection, instead of just the top layer, throw the Control key in there as well. Command, Control, and then up or down arrow keys on your keyboard. Another way to expand or collapse multiple nodes quickly is to left-click on the indicator lines to the left of your nodes that you'll see here. If you see this and click on it, it will expand or collapse any top-level nodes to the right of the bar. On a node you've already selected, you can hit Command-Shift plus up or down keys, and you'll move the line or lines that you've selected up or down on your screen without your hands having to leave the keyboard. If you're in the middle of a node, you can hold Shift and hit Enter to create a new node right below instead of splitting the node, like usually happens if you hit Enter. Hold Command-Shift-Enter to do the same thing but create a node above your current selection. You can create a heading node by adding an exclamation point to the beginning of an empty line. This makes it look a little bit more distinctive, and the content will stay expanded by default when you visit that page. There are 3 sizes of headings depending on how nested they are. There are actually 5 additional ways to make a heading in case you don't like typing exclamation points for some reason. Hit the Control+I key on your keyboard to add a description to your node. This is a great way to add extra context to a simple node. You can also right-click the node bullet and then hit Add Description to do the same thing. If you want to view a node as a full page, just click on the node bullet and you'll pop into a zoomed-in view where it kind of feels like the node you just clicked on is now the title of a new page. If you make new nodes here, it would be kind of like the same as adding children to the node that you just clicked on when it was in an outline view. So while you're here, you can actually add a custom icon or banner to give this page some extra personality. If you aren't zoomed in on the node, the icon that you select, that custom icon, will actually display instead of a normal bullet, which is kind of fun. Speaking of, if you want to unzoom from the node that you've clicked on, you can click on this button in the upper left to go back. Next to that button is what we call the breadcrumb bar, which shows you where the node that you're zoomed into lives in the actual outline. This zoomed node is actually inside of this other node, which is inside of the original one. If you want, you can actually click onto any of these, and then you'll zoom into that node page instead of the one you're currently on. To zoom into nodes using your keyboard instead of mouse, either use Command period on your keyboard to zoom in, or Command comma to zoom out one layer of your outline. And then if you just want to go back and forth between your most recent pages, kind of like on a web browser, you can use the back and forth icons on this left sidebar, which is an area we'll talk about more soon. So the main page that you're viewing, like whatever's on your screen, is called your main panel. You can adjust the size of the panel content in the upper right corner of the panel. You can also open more panels by right-clicking a node and then hitting this button, which will open as many panels as you like to the right side of your screen, the right dock. Close the extra panels using the X in the corner, and you can adjust the size of the panel by clicking on this border and dragging it to the size that you prefer. Hit Command M on any node that you're currently editing to quickly open it as a new panel on the right. You can also hold the Command key and left click on any node's bullet to open it as a new panel. If you hold Shift and click the node bullet, it will open as a new panel into the top dock instead of the right. You can open multiple panels up here too, and then just use the scroll bar to scroll through them. When you're done, you can close it or move to the right dock by clicking on this icon. And if you ever want to replace your kind of main lower left panel with something else, just hold the Option key when you click on a bullet and it will pop into that area instead. Let's say I have a new idea and I want that thought to live in two places at once inside of Tana. You can copy the original node by either right-clicking the node bullet or node text and hitting either of these icons, or by using the keyboard shortcut Command C. Now go wherever you want the new node, right-click, and click Paste, or use the keyboard shortcut Command V. You'll see a new node with this kind of dotted line indicator on its node icon. This first node now lives in multiple places at once. It's actually the same exact node in two places. It's not a new node. That means that you can edit the same node in one place and it will update in both places instantaneously. The first node is the original node. Any copies you create are called references to that node. So you can create as many references as you want. That's the amazing thing. And if you delete any references, nothing bad happens. But if you delete the original, all of the node references, the copies, will be deleted too. So Tana will let you know in the upper right corner whenever you delete an original node that you've deleted all of these other references too. If you paste a reference on a line all by itself, it starts out as a simple link back to the original, but it can be edited directly here by double-clicking on it. This edits the reference and the original from wherever you are. If you click outside of the node reference in the same line that you pasted it, you can start adding new context around that reference instead of editing it. The reference just kind of acts as a link back to the original, and no new content will be added to that original node, just where you're editing. Similarly, if you paste a reference into a node that already has other content, it will just act like a link back to the original node as well. Hold Shift and click on an inline reference to open a preview window that allows you to edit the original node and any subnodes contained within it from right where you are without leaving your spot. When you're done, shift-click to close the preview again. Instead of copy-pasting, you can actually just summon a node reference by using the @ key or typing 2 left brackets. You can also use a / on an empty line and select the @ command that way. This opens a list of nodes that you can bring in as references wherever you are, starting with the potential recent nodes that you've created, and then narrowing down as you start to type more characters of what you're looking for. Once you find the one, mouse click it or hit Enter on your keyboard. If you don't see a node that you'd like to link, you can actually just create a new node from whatever you typed. Just left click or hit Command Enter to create the new node wherever you are. If you want to change the text of a node reference, just click on it once and then either hit Enter on your keyboard or the Set Alias button with your mouse. Then type whatever you'd like to have it show instead, hit Enter, and the reference will now display different text while still linking to the original node. A fast way to do this with existing text is just to highlight it, hit the @ button, similar to if you're calling in a reference, type the text of the node that you want to link to, and then select it. It'll create a link to the original node, but it will keep the original text that you had highlighted. Here are a few more quick node reference tips. Anytime a node has references, you can see this counter to the right of it. This is the number of times this node has been referenced. Left click this to see a list of all the other references. Command click any reference to open it in a new side panel. Option click to replace your lower left panel, or shift click to open the node reference into the top panel. Hold the Option key, then left click and drag a node button to a new spot to quickly create a new reference. You can use panels to make this even easier by dragging from one panel panel into an entirely different area of Tana, linked and unlinked references. If you zoom into any node, you can actually see a new section at the bottom of the page. So these are the references that you've created to this node, if any exist. If there's another node that actually mentions the exact same text as this node's title, but isn't yet a linked reference, you can click here to add it to your linked references quickly. Node bullets contain visual information about the node. References have a dotted line indicator. Nodes with other nodes under them that you can expand have a solid line indicator. Checkbox nodes signify complete or incomplete to-dos. You can add in custom node icons, and there are even more specific node indicators coming up soon. By the way, if some or any of this looks different to you, that is okay. That just means that Tana has been updated since this video. So go right below the like button in this video, sign up to this link, and you'll immediately get an update on every part of this video that's changed since it's been published. Okay, so here's where things get good. Tana 201, getting Tana superpowers, the Supertag. So adding a Supertag is a way to say, this node is a certain type of thing, and you get to decide what that is. So here are some nodes. Add a Supertag to turn a node from raw data into a person or a client or a family member. Or it can even somehow be all of those things at once. So to add a Supertag, just click literally anywhere in your node and hit the pound key, or right click the node and hit this icon on the toolbar. Then type your tag. If it already exists, you can pick it from the list. If not, hit enter to both create a new tag and apply it to this node at the same time. Boom! So you can add tags as many times as you like, multiple tags, one tag, or select multiple nodes and add a tag to a bunch of nodes at the same time using the same method. If you want to add a tag to a node reference, same deal. Just left click it and then either hit the pound key or click the toolbar and add your tag. If you ever regret tagging a node, just hover over the tag, click the X icon to remove it. To untag multiple nodes, just drag to select them with your mouse, type Command K, type remove tag, and hit enter. This is called the command palette. Whenever you type Command K, it gives you a bunch of options. We'll talk about more of them throughout this video. A tagged node will turn into a colorful bullet, and the references will also be colored too. It can even be multicolored if you have multiple tags. If you want to change this color, by the way, just click the Supertag once and then click this button in the corner on the page that pops up. Or to do this even faster, just hold Command Shift and click the tag once. You'll see the Configure Supertag panel open. You can rename your Supertag here or change the color of the Supertag, and every node with that Supertag will be updated. We'll talk more about this section throughout the rest of this video. So if you click on a Supertag once, you'll go to the Supertag page. So this page is just a list of all the nodes that you've tagged with your Supertag, and it's also a great way to get to your Configure Tag panel, where we just were. If you set an icon on this page, it sets a custom icon or banner, just like any node, but it will actually replace the icon and banners of all the Supertag nodes so you can recognize them even easier. So why use Supertags? Let's say you want to find all of your coworkers quickly. On an empty node, hit the / command and then select search node. Now you can either type your Supertag name and hit enter, or select from one of the suggestions. We now have a search node, a list of node references to every node with the Supertag that we just picked. Once you've made a search node, you don't need to update it. It will automatically update with any new nodes that you create with that Supertag, no matter where they are in Tana. It even has this fancy little magnifying glass for a bullet. Tana will name your search node something super boring, so delete that and spice it up with a better name. You can summon a search node wherever you are and quickly review a list of your tagged nodes. You can have a list in multiple spots in Tana, and you can access it wherever you need it. You can edit the reference in a search node just like any other reference that we've talked about. You can collapse and expand your search node. You can pull references out of the search node using your mouse, or you can even use the keyboard shortcut Shift Tab to outdent a resulting reference. If you create a new node inside of a search node, it's automatically tagged with the Supertag from your search. So you can actually add new items of the same kind right here quickly if you want. And anytime you add a tag to a node anywhere in your graph, the search nodes with that node specified will update automatically without you having to think about it. Okay, so we've talked about the node, which adds information into Tana. The Supertag, which is telling Tana that a node is a certain kind of thing and will allow you to instantly pull up and transform nodes into auto-updating lists. Now it is time for fields. You can add a field to a node to say, this is a special kind of information about the node that might be important later. For example, if something's a book, you might have a field for book status, indicating whether you've read that book or you want to read that book. For a cooking ingredient, you might have in the pantry or out of stock in a field. For a task, you might want a node to have a field that says assigned to, and then you can assign it to someone from your team. To add a field to an existing node, just create a blank node under the first, indent, then type Shift period to add a right arrow at the beginning of the line. This turns the node into a field, represented by this new icon here. Now type out a name for your field to label it. Then add the actual info to the field by clicking over here or hitting tab once and typing the information in. Once you use a field once, you can actually reuse it again. When you do the right arrow to bring up your fields, all the previous field options will pop up as you start typing. There are two parts to a field: the field's name, which is over here, and then the information in the field, which is over here. The default field type is just plain, for adding plain text. But you can change the field type by right-clicking the field icon and selecting a new field type from this menu, or by left-clicking the field icon to open the Configure Field menu on the right side of your screen, and then selecting from the field types here. The Options field type allows you to set default options to choose from whenever you use a field. For example, for movies, you could have a default rating scale. For books, you could have read versus unread or to read. For coworkers, you could have an options field with the departments of your company. Any info you add into an option field will automatically become one of your future choices. Or again, you can left click the field icon, go to Configure Field, and manually add the field options in this section here. Date fields let you select a specific date. Maybe you want to track when you finished a book. Maybe you have an upcoming due date for a task, or maybe the date of an event that you'd like to remember. To set a date in the field, left click this area to open up the date picker pop-up. Here you can select an individual date, a date range, and even specify something like the time of day. If you set the field type to options from Supertag, and then you pick the Supertag coworkers, the field will retrieve a list of every coworker you've added to Tana. And of course, if you ever add a new coworker in the future, the options in the field will update automatically. Here's a meeting attendees field for a meeting node. So we now have our three major pillars: nodes, supertags, and fields, which means that it is time to combine everything together. So let's create a node, tag it as book, and then add a field for read status. Now right-click the field and hit Add to Template. Now, every time we add the book tag, it will automatically bring that field along too. You can even add a bunch of fields all at once and then promote them all at once using the same method. So adding multiple fields to your supertags makes them way more powerful. To get even more control of this process, let's open the Supertag Configure panel again. So right below where we changed the supertag color and title previously, there's a section called Template. So here you can see and edit all the fields that you've already added to your supertag. Use the buttons below to create a new field or add an existing one, or simply left click and then use the right arrow to add them the conventional way we've already learned. You can create and add new normal nodes to this template too, if you'd like. These will just show up every single time that you create the supertag. If you add information to the empty fields in your supertag template, that will be the new default for that supertags field. For example, if I set the read status to read in my book supertag, then anytime I tag a new book, it will be set as to read by default until I change it to something else. Any book tags whose read status hasn't been set already will also be switched to read as well as the default. When you're configuring supertags, right below the template section is your optional fields. All the fields from your template in the last tip will show up whenever you tag a node with the supertag, but fields in the optional fields section won't show up when you create a supertag. Instead, you can click this icon here and you'll get the suggestion for optional fields. Optional fields are great for fields that you only want to add in kind of rare situations. If you realize you aren't using a field often and want to turn it optional quickly, just right click on it and select this button here. So let's say that we want to search Tana for just the books that we have already read. Instead of using / to summon a search, type Command K instead. The very first option in this command palette is Find Nodes. Click that, then hit Find Nodes with tag, type book, and select that. Now, if we were to select as a list, it would create our normal search node showing us all of our books like we've already seen. Instead, let's go down to with field, then select the read status field to narrow your search, then select read for the field status. Now, instead of finding every single book, your search node will only display just the books that you've already read. Here's another example. Just searching for tasks that have already been assigned to me. This search node will show any tasks assigned to me, and if I add any nodes to this, it'll auto tag those nodes as both tasks and as tasks that are assigned to me, which is super, super cool. Now let's filter our search node. If we only want to see tasks that are not done, we can click the View Options icon up here. We'll talk about each of these options in a minute, but let's just focus on this one first. Filter. Click Filter, and you can narrow your search node results based on filtered criteria. Let's do checked state, not done. Now our completed tasks will all vanish, and any new tasks that we mark as complete will disappear based on this new condition. If you ever want to see what's filtered out, just click down here to reveal those nodes. Here's another example of filtering a book list to only your books with a rating of 4 stars in the genre of sci-fi. Once you add a filter, you can adjust the filter by left-clicking and changing the value in the toolbar, or hitting this X to just remove the filter. And you can add or adjust with the filter icon here. If you want to make things a bit cleaner, you can also hide or show the filter toolbar. You can't really delete items out of a search node because it's going to find them again. So all you can do to remove them is adjust the conditions of that node so it doesn't match the search. But if you just really want that node to be gone, you can hit Command K and type out the command hard delete. Click hard delete including references, and you will delete the node completely from your graph, including any time that it's been referenced. So be very careful if you use this, it's not just gone from your search node, but from everywhere in your entire graph. This is the extreme option. So I've been holding back on the real magic of Tana, which is that you can transform how your nodes look in seconds. The standard view for your nodes is list view, which is just the bullet point list that we've seen so far. But there are several other ways you can view your data as tables, cards, calendars, tabs, or side menus. To change the view type, click on the View Options icon in the corner of your search node, then View As and select the new view type. Or hit Command-K and type View As to do this even faster. In Table View, the parent node from your list becomes the table's title. Your child nodes become the left column, and you can see the extra info you added in if you expand them. Any fields from those nodes move over to become the columns, so you can quickly see and compare field values across a set of nodes. This view is especially good for creating new fields as new columns, or editing and modifying a lot of field information all at once. In Card View, your parent node becomes the title, and each child node becomes a single card. You can move your cards around by drag-clicking them. Cards allow you to create Kanban groups of nodes based on the status of a single field. These books are sorted by their read status. You can see columns for read, want to read, and in progress. If you click the View options, then click Display, you can designate what fields you'd like to have shown in the cards without having to expand them. Here we've selected the book cover field to show up in the card view. If a node has a banner added, that banner will show up in the card by default. In Calendar View, the parent node will be the title of the calendar, and any child nodes will be added to your calendar view based on the date field that your calendar decides to choose. In this case, the exam date field. You can quickly move items around by dragging and dropping them, which will update their date field. Click on a calendar item to zoom into it, or command click to open it into a panel. In Tab View, you'll see the parent node as the title of a dashboard, and the child nodes as a set of horizontal tabs that you can click. Each tab shows the child nodes of the original node. This allows you to quickly go through groups of nodes that are different aspects or variations on the same topic. You can drag and drop the tabs to reorder them. Side Menu View is similar to tabs, except instead of putting the tabs across the top, they go across the left side of your screen. It's easy to combine views. Here's a side menu with a list inside of it. You can turn this list into a tab view. Now you have a tab dashboard inside the first part of your side menu. Let's transform the second list into a calendar view. Now we can go back and forth quickly in the side menu to see different views of the same content. Finally, let's say that we have these 4 search nodes, one for each book ranking. If you turn these into a tab view, you can switch quickly between the list views of your search nodes. And if you update a rating, it will automatically go to the next tab. Now please stop and congratulate yourself. We are now over 50 tips in. So can you feel it? Can you feel your power growing? You are likely already stronger than 99% of Tana users. So just take a break, grab a coffee, and think on what you've already accomplished. Or you can just keep going. I'm not satisfied either. Let's do this. So let's zoom out and talk about some of the bigger picture Tana stuff that we skipped over previously. For example, there is a whole sidebar to the left here. Click here to expand or close the expanded view, or hover over the icons to reveal more details. This might feel weird, but I'd like us to start at the bottom of the sidebar first. This shows the home node of your workspace and any nodes that live on your home node. You can go to your home node by clicking here, or by clicking the furthest left icon in your breadcrumb at the top of every page. This works because since everything in Tana is a node, your home page is just the top node that all the other nodes sit under, no matter where else they are. This makes the home node basically the container for your entire workspace. So if you rename the home node, you rename your workspace. You can also change your workspace profile photo here. You'll see your daily notes node already on your homepage. This is the area we started in when we opened Tana, but you can also add new nodes to your homepage if you like, creating top-level page nodes that you can organize areas of Tana under and access quickly in the sidebar. Create nodes on the page directly or use this button here. There are also some special areas of Tana in the Settings dot menu over here on your home node. More on those in a bit. Okay, back to the top of the sidebar. After the back and forward buttons, the first item on your sidebar is the Today page. Click on it and you'll jump to a dedicated page for today's date. The Today page is part of the Daily Notes area we just saw on your homepage. Daily Notes pages exist for every date you'd like to visit and are automatically tagged with the super tag Day. If you don't see this Day tag, click the Settings dot on your Today page and then click Create Default Day tag. There's a day node for literally every date you can think of, Just click these arrows on your Today page to go to the previous or next days in your daily notes, click the Today button to return to today's note, or click this calendar icon to manually set a date to jump to. One of the best ways to use Tana is just to go to your Today node and start taking whatever notes you want right there. We can create new nodes, tag the nodes we create, and reference existing nodes from elsewhere in Tana. Then, if we visit those tagged nodes, the daily node we tagged them from will show up in the references at the bottom of their page. Your day nodes are nested inside of the week nodes, year nodes, and then finally, the home node of your workspace. The Today page is so important that you can actually get there 4 different ways. By clicking the sidebar icon, clicking the Today button inside of any daily note page, typing Command K and then Show Today Node, or the keyboard shortcut Control-Shift-D. Click the Create New button in the sidebar to create a new node which will be immediately added to your Today node, or anywhere in Tana, type the hotkey Command E. You'll get this pop-up, which will allow you to add as many nodes as you like to the Today node from wherever you are. Just type them out, then hit Add to Today, or Command E key, and it will immediately add those new nodes into your daily note. If you click out of Quick Add before adding notes to your daily note, then open it again, your previous work will still be there. You can use this as a quick scratch pad to add content to before committing it to your Today node. Use the @ command, which normally summons linked references, and write the word Today and hit enter. You'll immediately link to today's daily note as a new reference. And if you go to today's note, you'll see that reference at the bottom of the page in the linked references. This works for linking to other daily note pages too, such as typing at yesterday, tomorrow, next Thursday, at this week, or even just typing in a specific date. These work just like dates in a date field. You can click on the date and adjust it using the date picker pop-up. As each daily note is tagged with the day supertag, if you edit the supertag template for that tag, you'll see that template's information on every single day that you visit within your calendar pages. A simple example of things that you can do is add something like a gratitude field and add the description, put one thing you're grateful for today. Now each day you'll be prompted to do your gratitude practice. Or you can add a search node to quickly see, say, what tasks you might want to do today. You can access the other calendar notes, including the years and weekly notes, through your home page's daily notes node, or through the breadcrumb of your Today note. The next sidebar icon is the inbox. This captures items from the mobile app. More on that soon. If you have multiple panels open at once, you can click Save Layout, then name the layout, and a layout node will be added to your home page. Click on this either on the home page or in the sidebar to quickly reopen this set of pages. The search icon next to the Create New button opens a search, which you can use to find nodes. Hit Command S to open this up faster anywhere. In the next section of the sidebar, you can pin your favorite nodes. First, remove Tana's default suggestions. Then, to pin a node, simply drag one over to this section. You can then click it for quick access wherever you are. Feel free to rearrange, right-click to rename, or remove the pinned nodes by hitting the little X in the corner. To quickly access pinned nodes with your keyboard, hit Command K, type pinned nodes, hit enter, then select a pinned node to open. Occasionally, you'll see a rocket ship down in the lower left corner of your sidebar. This means that there's a new update for you in Tana that you can install. If you don't click on this icon, it'll eventually force you to anyway, so no pressure. So your home node is the first workspace you join and is unique to you. Nobody else can actually join this. But you can create a new workspace and invite others in, or join new workspaces that other users have created. You'll see the workspaces you've joined down here. If you want to be able to search for nodes from other workspaces, go to your home page, hit the settings hamburger, go to Allow Content From, and select the workspaces that you want to show up when you search or use your @ command to look for nodes. Also in the homepage's settings hamburger are a few special pages. First is the Schema, which is a page for your supertags. Whenever you create a supertag, Tana creates a supertag node, which is how it keeps track of the details for that tag. Feel free to reorganize them or to keep track of the ones that you've made if you like. The library is just a special page for any items that you've made that don't have a home anywhere else. Most nodes go wherever you made them originally or are put into your daily notes. Anything else will be just added to your library. So you don't really need to use the library, but it can be a good place to just send things that don't belong anywhere else. The settings menu opens up personal preferences for your workspace, the most important which are your custom keyboard shortcuts and move destinations, which I'll explain in a second. So there's also the ability to set whether Monday or Sunday is the first day in your calendar views, which is kind of nice. Trash is just a collection of nodes you've deleted. If you see this icon in Tana, it's a reference to a deleted node. You can easily bring it back from the trash by left-clicking and hitting Move Out from Trash. Or you can hit Command K and type the Open Trash command to go sifting through the trash for lost treasures. To move a node, hit Command K and type Move To. This command will give you 4 quick default options to move your node to immediately. If you use the command Move and Leave Reference To instead, It will move the original node but leave a reference behind. But if you'd like to look around your graph for a good spot to move to, right-click the node and hit the Move button. This allows you to look around and find the exact right spot to put a node. You can also use Command-K Move with Finder to use the same command, or just use the hotkey Command-Shift-M. If you have a common place you like to move nodes to that isn't any of these standard spots, you can add that as a new destination. Just copy that destination node using Command-C, go to Settings, Move Destinations, and paste the node here. Now it's an option when you want to move a node. Let's say that you copied a node as a reference, but you actually prefer the new location for your node instead of where the node's original version lives. Select that reference, hit Command-K, and then type bring. Then hit Bring Reference Node here. The original node will now be where the reference once was. If you ever want to create an exact copy of an existing node but not create a reference, so that you can edit the new node's text without editing the original, hit Command-K, type duplicate, and select the command. Sometimes you'll accidentally create multiple similar nodes or ones even with the same name. If you want to combine those together at a later time, move them next to one another by moving them on screen or copying one and pasting it next to the other. Highlight both of them, then hit Command-K and type merge. Then select merge node. Then pick the node that you'd like to remain. Now that you only have one node, all of the content from both nodes lives under this one. You can even use the command to merge multiple nodes all at once. If you need to combine supertags, go to your Supertag schema page again, select two supertags. Hint, I like to hold the command key and then click on the nodes to select two that aren't close to one another, and then use the same merge command. All nodes tagged with the previous supertags will be replaced with the new merged one, and any fields from the Supertag templates will be combined. So there's actually a mobile app for Tana called Tana Capture. It's for iPhone and Android, and it's not a full mobile app. You can just use it to add things to Tana, not look inside of Tana or modify anything. That is coming someday. Download the Tana Capture app, log into your account, and then you can capture by either scanning text, uploading photos or videos, taking a voice memo, which AI can, by the way, perfectly transcribe later, more on that soon, taking a photo, or just by writing a new thought directly. You can also send things like tweets directly into Tana using the share feature on your phone, which allows you to capture without even going into the app. Anything you add using Tana Capture goes into the inbox, which we saw in your sidebar earlier. From here you can see everything that you've captured and use your move to command that we just learned to quickly move it to wherever it needs to go. You can publish any Tana node as a public web page in just a few clicks. Right-click the node bullet you'd like to publish, then go to Publish and open Publish Preview. This opens a preview of your public page on the right. Click the Publish button and then the Open button when ready. You can adjust the appearance of the elements that you've published, the content of the original node, or unpublish at any time. If you want to share a link to a node in Tana somewhere else, use Command-K plus Copy Link command. You can then share that link to yourself or anyone else who has access to the particular workspace you're sharing from. Command-K plus Copy as plain Markdown to share a Markdown version of the node, or use the Copy Full Content to Clipboard to get a clean version of the entire node tree that you can paste elsewhere. Right-clicking a node with your mouse brings up a toolbar with some helpful mouse commands. But this means that if you want to correct a misspelled word, you actually need to right-click it twice to get spelling suggestions. Okay, now we are going to truly go pro. So if you have not yet practiced everything before now, please just consider this just for fun knowledge that can inspire you to do things in the future. If you mastered everything that we have already covered, then all right, let's get into it. Extending supertags. If you want to create a sub-tag of an existing tag to reuse a template or a set of fields, create your new tag like normal. Then configure the tag and hit the Extend From button in the template section. Select the original tag. Now the new tags template will be populated with the original tag's details. Add any extra fields that are specific to just this extended tag too. Now, if you create a search node for the first tag, it will actually bring up the extended tag in the results too. But if you search for just the extended tag, it will only show those particular ones, not the originals. You can even set new field defaults for just this extended tag. The original tag's default fields will remain the same, but the new one will automatically populate with the more specific information. You can build a node title from the fields of your Supertag template by configuring a Supertag, scrolling down, and turning Build Title from Fields on. Add the exact names of fields between this cache squiggly bracket format to pull field info into your title. Now if I add this Supertag to a node, it will automatically pull info from the fields of that node into the node's title. If you'd still like to be able to manually update the node's text, put the cache squiggly bracket name text at the beginning of a line to be able to edit the beginning of the node. Otherwise, it won't be editable if you use this. To make a field required, click the field icon to configure field, then check the required box. If you do this, you get a very stern warning when you don't fill in that field properly. To hide some of your fields, configure field, visit the Hide Field section, and then select when you'd like to see that particular field. You can set this based on whenever the field is empty or completed, or have it even always be hidden. It will then hide the field up here based on the conditions that you've set. Click to reveal it again temporarily. You can also use the Command K set hide field conditions to change the setting on the keyboard, or use the Command K hide all fields to quickly hide all the fields one time. Auto-Initialization. Let's add a book under this author node. Now, wouldn't it be nice if this author field automatically knew who the author was? I mean, it's right there. Configure field on the author field in the books node, which has been set as an options from Supertag based on the author Supertag. Now go to Auto-Initialization and turn on toAncestor with this Supertag. Now, when we add a book tag here, it will know who the author is immediately. This will only happen when the book tag is added for the first time, when it initializes, at which point Tana will look around and see if the author tag is above it, and if so, it'll grab it and put it in that field. There's so many other applications to this that it will just require more videos in the future. So subscribe. Let's say you want to filter a page to only find nodes that you've added the Supertag fix me later to. If you don't already see the view options button, do Command K and select show view options. Then you can click on the view options button and filter if you want to find specific tag nodes. Along the same lines, you can use the view options to show preview field information on a node even when it's collapsed. You can show a field you made like assign to, or you can use a system field, which is data that Tana automatically keeps track of, like the last time the node was edited. You can also sort any node using the view options, organizing by a field, by the last edited time, or even adding multiple sort criteria. For example, here's a task list sorted by who it's assigned to and then by the due date. Grouping is kind of like sorting, except it takes just one field criteria and breaks the list into multiple different groups based on that field. For example, here's a group of task nodes based on the month that they're due. If you want to make your calendar views more customized or powerful, you can change the date field or even select multiple date fields, which will all show up on your calendar. Adjust the display under view options to see more variables on the calendar nodes. You can zoom between month, week, and day views to be able to quickly view and adjust granular times of day in your calendar just by dragging and dropping. Once you've created search nodes using either the / or find nodes command, you can make fine-tuned modifications by clicking the search options icon here, and then clicking Open Query Editor right below the summary of your current search. This will allow you to manipulate your search even more directly and add multiple conditions. For example, you can use the and, or, and not conditions to specify which items you'd like to see. And means you'll only see results with both conditions, or will show you results with either condition, and not will filter out that particular condition. Here's an example of a query that looks for all tasks that are marked as not done, or events that have the field upcoming as their status, but does not include any tasks for a specific project that we don't want included. You can see how this can get pretty complicated. If you want to create a search node this way from the very start, type question mark in an empty line, then select the Create Search Node button that pops up to the right. There are many additional operators that you can use to be more specific with your query specification. Here are 3 favorites. For relative date allows you to put in a date that will automatically update, such as today, tomorrow, or last week. Tana will then use whatever the actual date is instead of you having to re-update it every time. If you use the LT and GT fields, you can find less than or greater than a specific value. This is especially great for searching for dates. Check out how this query finds me all tasks that are not done and have a due date less than today's current date. That means any missed tasks where I'm past due will be pulled up automatically once I miss them. Example number 3, parents, descendants. This will look at the node or page that contains the search. Then it will look for the rest of the conditions anywhere inside of that page. So here's a query I can put on a page with quotes, and it will find any quotes inside that page and pull them into the search. If I add more quotes anywhere else on the page, they'll automatically be pulled up into this live search. I'll cover all of these operators in an upcoming video, so please go ahead and subscribe. You might notice system fields in your query builder. Tana will collect data on every node that you create and put it into system fields. You can search for this data at any point. Here's a query that uses the last edited date system field to find any nodes that I've edited just today, which is info that Tana tracks for me automatically. We talked earlier about how you can display a system field using the View Options button, but you can also summon these manually inside a node by adding a field like normal using the right arrow, and then typing out and selecting the system field you'd like to use. If you don't want to move a field into being hidden, you can use the command collapse field to hide everything but the field. Then it won't display its content again until you hit the expand caret here. There's a lot of Command K commands which we'll cover comprehensively in a future video, but it's good to know that you can add your own custom hotkeys quickly to use your favorites. For example, I like to quickly close panels using this close this panel command instead of the X on a panel. To set up a quick shortcut to do this faster, hit Command K, type close, then you see the close this panel command highlighted. Now press Command Shift K on your keyboard. You can now set a hotkey for this. In my case, I use Command 3. Now I can close panels super quickly. Just type Command 3 and it will close. You can visit your settings to see any of the custom keyboard shortcuts that you've recorded or delete them. You can quickly adjust a date in Tana by using your keyboard. Use your left and right keys to move your cursor into the linked reference date. Then you can use the D key to move forward a day, M a month, or Y a year. Hold Shift and press any of those keys to go backwards by the same increment. You can hit plus or minus to go backwards or forward more incrementally based on the smallest unit currently displayed. Bonus tip, if you want to jump to the note page of a day reference, hold the Option and left click to jump right there. This is to get around how the normal left click will bring up a date picker. If you want to build a title node from fields but don't have any info in the field, it will look a little bit weird. To fix this, add a bar question mark at the end of the title expression. This will make that information not show up unless it's actually filled in. You can also only show a limited number of characters from a field by adding a bar number and then specifying the number. There's a lot of special system expressions that you can use in the title expression field, but I usually find it's easier to just use the view options and display function to show this kind of information this way instead. Okay, so are you okay if we go a little long? Do you have a couple more minutes? Because I have 15 bonus tips that I would feel horrible if I didn't share with you. Okay, awesome, let's do this. So tip 101, if you configure a super tag, you can set it to appear as a checkbox automatically instead of having to add that checkbox. You can also link the checked or unchecked status to a field or a set of fields. For example, here's a task that's set so that if you check the box, it will switch its status to done and vice versa. The reverse happens if you uncheck or mark it as undone. Also under configure supertag, you can turn on set child supertag and then specify a supertag. Now any new nodes that you create under that node with the original tag will get auto-tagged with whatever the new tag you specified was. You can do this to any normal node as well. Just hit Command K and type set default tag to apply this to an individual node. If you hover your mouse over a bullet, it will show you when it was last updated and by whom. Don't like light mode? You can switch between light and dark mode using the command palette. If you hit / at the beginning of a line, it'll give you several quick options that are quite handy if you've forgotten all the other ways to summon things to an empty line. If you want to add some specific details to a node, but don't want that extra content to show up anywhere else that you've linked to that node, use either the command add contextual content or the keyboard shortcut Command Option plus the down key on your keyboard. This will add an extra area below your node to add notes that will only show up when you see this node in this exact spot, as well as adding this cool diamond-shaped node indicator. This is especially helpful for adding notes to a search node that you only need to use one time, such as tracking whether or not you've delivered an annual Valentine's Day card or not, which you don't need to normally see when you visit your coworkers' nodes. Table view makes it especially easy to add a contextual field. Just click Add Contextual Column, and you'll only ever see this extra field in this area of your Tana graph. Okay, so this is massive and we have saved it for last. AI and Tana. So Tana most likely is actually going to be remembered as one of the most powerful AI tools. Depending on how far into the future you're watching this, most likely Tana AI is a native or an upgraded feature in Tana that incorporates multiple different AI models behind the scenes to give you amazing results and superpower your workspace. You can use AI to ask questions, to generate results, summarize or reformat your data, look at and analyze specific super tagged information and give you suggestions. You can generate images in line, you can generate custom banners. Basically, AI takes Tana to the next level. Remember those voice memos that we captured earlier using Tana Capture? Well, if you have AI enabled, capture a voice memo, go to the inbox and use the transcribe command or button to have Tana transcribe your voice into a high quality record of what you said. You can use this function on any audio you import into Tana, or you can even record directly to Tana using the command capture voice. If you're using the desktop Tana app, press Command-Shift-E to record your voice immediately from anywhere, even outside of Tana, then it will get added to your inbox page. By the way, go to Options, Customize Key Bindings if you're accidentally activating this during daily use and want to change it. You can also use the command palette to create a command node. This is a special type of node that will allow you to string together multiple commands to make your life easier. For example, here's a command to set a project status to complete, and then automatically create a new task node for a project post-mortem. Once you create a command node, name it whatever you like, and then you can use it from your command palette. Just hit Command K and then type the custom command name to use it whenever you want. You can even add commands as buttons to your super tags. Configure tag, go to the advanced section, and then add the command node to the Supertag. Now a button will display next to your Supertag node that allows you to use the command with a single click. You can set conditions so that this button will only show up when you want it to. Here's an example of a set of command buttons that will automatically change the status of a task priority based on what its current priority is set to. If you want to learn more about commands, I recommend checking out Tana Pro, the ultimate up-to-date course on Tana's features that makes this video look like child's play. You can combine commands with AI to make them extremely powerful, essentially building custom AI apps within Tana. These commands can automatically do things like tag your notes based on what's inside of them, convert your voice note into a full-fledged blog post, and many other things. Here's a simple example. You can create a command to turn text from Italian using AI. Once we set it up, use the command convert to AI prompt, and then we can convert large amounts of Italian to English in just a moment. Here's some items that aren't in Tana yet, but are promised to be coming down the pipeline. There's currently no full mobile experience, just Tana Capture. It's definitely in the works, but it will rely on a heavy amount of AI to reduce the complexity of the UI, so it's a difficult challenge to get right, and they've been working on it for a while. We'll see when it happens. Tana doesn't have a local storage option, and it doesn't have an offline mode, so you need internet access to run Tana. So there's gonna be some kind of future offline access, but how extensive that is remains to be seen. Tana Core. So I'll make a video about all the paid features of Tana if you upgrade to the Tana Core plan, but here's a quick hit list. GPT integration and AI chats with your content, AI meeting assistant, custom AI agents, live transcriptions that you can see type your text as you talk, audio-enabled super tags and fields, and integrations like Google Calendars. If you enjoyed this video and are convinced to start using Tana, watch this video next. You're going to love it. Trust me, just click on that video. Thanks for watching. Enjoy.